Okay, today we're going to be breaking down the Venus factor mechanism. And so, some background information on this Venus factor kind of turned into resurge. They're by the same people. If you recognize this name, it's also in resurge. So yeah, so they've been written by like the same couple of copywriters. So right here we have it teases the mechanism. It doesn't say what the mechanism says. It doesn't say what the mechanism is exactly. It says female fat loss loophole first. Loophole that would lead to a weight loss benefit. And not only a weight loss benefit, but an emotional benefit as well that her friends and family noticed. And then, like I said, it's been written by the same copywriters, and they also did this little part right here in research where they tell the viewer to pay attention to this really important part. And they do this right before, the mechanism or the unique mechanism of the problem. And so now it continues on teasing the mechanism, but this time they move a step forward and say it's a hormone and not just a loophole that could be anything, right? And then tells you what the hormone does and what it is, which is leptin, right? And then, this like you may not know how leptin works. So let me explain. Serves as like a transition to telling the audience how it works. It's also, you know, um, talking to the audience as well. And then this right here sums up how leptin basically works, right? And you know, it doesn't say what leptin is because it's already been doing that right here with the teasing sort of, right? So it goes into how it works. And then, this serves now get ready for some surprising facts regarding women and leptin. It serves as a transition and you it, the unique mechanism behind the problem is always going to be surprising or counterintuitive, which it does here. So it literally tells you what the surprising part or counterintuitive part is. And this is the surprising part, right? That's sort of counterintuitive because women have twice as much of leptin compared to men, right? But women can be three times less responsive to leptin's signal to burn fat than men, right? That's pretty surprising. And that would be pretty surprising and shocking to the audience seeing this, right? And then it goes on by saying that this is called leptin resistance, and they pretty much went over what leptin resistance is, so they don't have to um, say what it is right after they say the name leptin resistance. And then right here we have testable proof, you know, which sort of qualifies the viewer too. You know, if the viewer doesn't have, the viewer can look at themselves and decide whether or not they have the soft, squishy cottage cheese looking fat around in their problem areas, which this is it's a pretty good metaphor, right? And then here we have another transition to a second unique problem with leptin. And right here, okay, yeah. So second unique problem with leptin. This kind of serves as a claim and why another solution didn't work, right? Is that when you diet, your leptin levels can drop twice as much and twice as fast compared to men to when men diet, right? And then it goes on to say what happens when leptin drops. Then we have proof of that claim right here, right? We have like a proof of science, and then we have it literally says science has discovered. So that's why I say proof of science instead of like proof of study, because I don't know if it was a study or just science in general. And it pretty much tells the viewer what that science means in the way they can understand. Right. And I see this as testable proof and kind of qualifying both of these right here. This is why every single pound feels so much more and more difficult to lose than the last. You know, they can look back and easily recall that moment or moments in time where this has happened to them. And they're like, okay. And then this is the second or the third piece of proof, and then the second testable proof. You know, if you ever suffered from the terrible rebound weight gain after you stop a diet, well, that's because your leptin drops significantly, making your metabolism even slower than before you started the diet, resulting in fat piling back on, even when you're eating next to nothing. And then it goes on to quickly recapping both problems, right? Both problems, which is problem number one, leptin resistance, and then problem number two, um, what the leptin drop when dieting, pretty much. And then, you know, we saw a lot of proof right here for problem number two, but we didn't see much proof, you know, just this one testable proof right here about problem number one. Maybe because it's already, the claim itself is already surrounded by proof of research, and and then more research. So that could be why it doesn't have more proof points behind leptin resistance. So yeah, it goes on to quickly recapping problem 1 and 2, and then it tells why women have this problem with leptin, right? It's because of evolution and giving birth, pretty much. It kind of reminds them of what they want right here, but they can't have that because 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 of evolution, right? And then it continues on why the problem with leptin, but this time after birth, following pregnancy, which is exactly why losing baby weight can be painstakingly difficult. You know, this justifies the failure. You know, and that's why they say why this is not your fault, because of evolution and giving birth. And this just serves as a transition to the solution. And then it asks the viewer to remember the good news that uh, women have twice as much leptin as men, what it means. It's already inside us. And then this line justifies their failure because it blames it on genetics and not on the person. And then again, I see this as a transition to introducing the actual solution they're getting to. Because look, this sentence is talking about your genetics, right? But then, yet, what if I told you there's a solution to turn the tables on your genetics, right? It starts out with this sentence starts out with genetics, and then it goes on by saying by resetting the way your body utilizes leptin to permanently turn your fat burning switch all the way on and never let it drop again. And then it starts, and it asks the viewer to kind of future pace itself, picture themselves um, by seeing how leptin could work for them instead of against them. You know, shoot. And then it wants them to future pace themselves or continue to picture themselves, but this time instead of saying leptin, they straight out say what the audience wants, what they actually want, what they dream of, you know, instead of saying, can you imagine how much faster and easier your weight loss, easier you lose weight when you have your master fat burning hormone working overdrive for you instead of against you. It's not like it's not like this question right here. Can you picture how much firmer and flatter your stomach becomes and how much tighter and sexier you look and feel? This dimensional dimensionalizes much more um, what they want. And then it goes on to say that there's a solution now, and it's called metabolic overdrive. And this is what I think the unique mechanism behind the solution is, right? But unlike other like promote sales letters, it doesn't go much into it. And then it defines what the metabolic overdrive is. That's why I put what is it? Metabolic overdrive consists of simple yet extremely powerful strategies that hold the key to unleashing your full fat burning potential that your genetics has kept locked away your whole life. And I see this as proof too. These unique strategies has helped not only the spokesperson's sister, but her friends and countless other women. And then it went from multiple unique strategies with an S to just one guaranteed plan for permanent female fat loss.